What's up guys, hello and welcome to episode 18 of the Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever Community Cast Library. I trust everyone's had an excellent week. Mine's been good, thanks. Lots of gaming, lots of normal boring live shenanigans, but that's the way things go. So someone asked me to change this week, or maybe it was the end of last week, to change the way that I name the episodes. So up until now I've been using volumes to kind of depict the number of the episode, but someone said, can you just like change it to episode instead of the volume shit? So I was like, yeah, okay, I can do that, I guess. So that's been changed. Yeah, I think that's about it. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed today's match. If you enjoy it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. It's a massive boost and help to the channel, and yeah, it's generally just good for everyone involved. Right guys, thank you very much. What's up everybody, hello, welcome along to your next helping of Mechanical Mayhem. This one coming in the format of a 5 vs 5 on the 10x10 map Pyramid. Game quality for this one is 92%. I never mention game quality, and it's something that I need to start remembering to do a little bit more. We're going to call this team in the top right hand corner Team 1, this team in the bottom left hand corner Team 2. Starting off with the players for Team 1. In his normal combination of Cyan and Cybran, it is Death Squad weighing in at 1600. He's not quite so overrated now. He's getting near where he should be. Second up for Team 1, it is customary shitty shade of teal going Aeon, weighing in at 1500. It's nidO-F, aka Foden. I need to check with Foden if actually he wants me to start calling him Nid. Thirdly for Team 1, in a putrid shit colour, weighing in at 1200, going Aeon, it's Mathew. And then thirdly for Team 1, going blue and another Aeon, weighing in at 1600, is System Failure. And then lastly for Team 1, in pink, suits you sir, going Space Pirate Alien Shenanigans, weighing in at, what are you Google? 1500 is Google. And then for Team 2, first up for Team 2, in Lilac, weighing in at 1300, it's MoMo-Uchiha. I played a tournament a few months ago with Momo. He did very well to carry me to the finals. Second up for Team 2 in white, going UEF, weighing in at 1600, it's Glocking. And then thirdly for Team 2, going not so sexy red in Aeon, it's Luca75, who comes in at 1300 for this replay. And then fourthly for Team 2, in an electric kind of pink, going sexy Cybran, weighing in at 1300, it's Artifax. And then finally the MVP of the replay in green, going Aeon, weighing in at a colossal 2100, it's Lainleas. So we've got the usual shenanigans going on of expansion engineers going out, and already System Failure on the right hand side is trudging towards what will be his forward position. Google is electing just to hang back a little bit and get up some kind of spam base going, and immediately will probably project that spam towards mid somewhere. MoMo-Uchiha on the other team, Google's mirror, has conversely decided to move all the way up to the pyramid from the off here, and is getting his spam area, his forward position up around this little mex point there in the middle. We've got drops going out on the left from Lainleas as he gets some engineers up onto the elevated mexes, as a T1 bomber is stealthily making its way forward from Death Squad. And I don't know if he's lined up some targets yet. Maybe he's going for these two little unsuspecting engineers here, and he is, and one of them goes down, and there's an attack ping going straight out on the T1 bomber of Death Squad. And it swings round to take its second victim. Google now moving forward in the center, and he's already got some engineers forward, getting a secondary forward position up. So Google going for lots of spam here. Meanwhile, on its third pass, that bomber taking out another 3 engineers by the looks of things, and there goes victim number 4, and it's actually on 6 kills now, so apparently I can't count. And it's swinging around for some sexy micro, but it doesn't quite finish off what it was intending to do. But a very worthwhile T1 bomber run there from Death Squad, and Foden now, or nidO-F, going down the right hand side. He's doing his engineering drops on the elevated mexes, and I'm pretty sure I saw in the corner of my eye somewhere that Lainleas lost his T1 transport, but he did manage to go to all of his elevated mexes dropped, so he won't mind that too much. And over on in the center now, we've got MoMo-Uchiha pushing with his ACU into the ACU Google. No, he isn't. He's just going forward for that max point. And now Momo and Google going at it over this max point in the middle of the pyramid. Google is backing up, but Momo is looking like he is hot in pursuit of the ACU of Google. And I hear more T1 bombers going off on the left hand side here from Death Squad. Death Squad going a very annoying style of early T1 bomber. Don't you hate that shit? Should be banned. That shit should be banned. Little T1 bomber number 2 coming in for the max point, which is currently upgrading to T2. And Death Squad now bringing in some interceptors to protect the T1 bomber, who's on its 3rd pass. No, it'll be more than that, because no, never mind, I'm wrong. This max being taken out by one of Death Squad's hunters. Back in the middle, it looks like Momo decided not to pursue full-bloodedly as he's withdrawn and gone into a T2 max upgrade. And this bomber back on the left now lets off another volley, and it's apparently turned into a gunship as it just floats there. And all that micro that must have gone into that, is it going to pay off? It does pay off. It gets the upgrading max and the engineer on the ledge. So Death Squad here with some really annoying early shenanigans with T1 bombers. Meanwhile, he's streaming quite a sizable contingent of Mantis and Scouts forward now, and Glocking is pushing up on the left hand side for Team 2. I think that was a gun upgrade. We just check if Glocking's got drones. I'm not sure, we'll have to check in a bit. And the T2 upgrades now going thick and fast in the middle. Mathew upgrading for Team 1 to T2. And Momo is in the latter stages of his T2 upgrade. Luca is pushing forward here to try and support Momo, who is being enveloped by the spam of Google, and Google now is pushing forward with his ACU, and he's opening up on Momo, and Momo doesn't look like he wants to cancel his T2 upgrade. And Momo, what's he doing? He needs to cancel that upgrade. The upgrade finally finishes, but Momo's already down to 4,000 hit points, and Luca is going to try and push in and protect Momo's ACU. Luca needs to step across the line of fire. He does that, protecting Momo from just a couple of volleys here, but Google is past the ACU of Luca, and Momo is trying to get around this cliff edge, but Google, I'm pretty sure, is going to finish him off, and there he goes. But in doing that, Google has isolated himself, and surely now Luca on 9,000 hit points, Google on under 5. All Luca needs to do is follow this up. Google is streaming forward with a few more units, and he's blocking the path of Luca as he frantically tries to maneuver his comm out of harm's way here. But Luca is through the wall of spam. I say spam, there's like half a dozen units there. Both ACUs are now into the red, and this additional damage being put down by the T1 units. Luca's going to go down, and Google goes with him. 3 players in that center melee. And I think at some point there, Luca just decided that he was in too deep, and yeah, I'm not sure about the play from Luca. I mean, Luca's laughing about it, saying that now the 2100 has 3 bases. Yeah, but he has to get the time to fill out those 3 bases. So on the left-hand side, as we reel from the center of this entire replay being absolutely blown to smithereens, Team 2 losing 2 players, Team 1 losing 1 player, and now Mathew is going to hold up the middle for Team 1 all on his lonesome, and the 2 flank players on Team 2 of Glocking and Artifax are going to have to plug this central gap, as it looks like that's what they're trying to do. And Death Squad now pushing down. I'm pretty sure there's a gun upgrade. We need to jump in here and check what these guys have got. So Death Squad here on a gun upgrade, nothing else. And he is enveloping the forward fire base. Well, it's not a fire base, the forward spamming platform thrown up by Glocking. Glocking is backing up his ACU just a little bit, just trying to kite some of the incoming Mantis from Death Squad. Death Squad is going toe-to-toe with the Triad turret, and there's Mercies coming in there from Foden, I think that was. And Glocking now is in deep trouble. He is half health. He needs to get his skates on and fall back. Glocking pushing forward some striker tanks to intercept the forward push of the Mantis, and Death Squad now is the one that's backing up a little bit. And Glocking on 5,500 hit points. He might need a new pair of pants, but I think he's going to survive this one for the time being. And I'm just looking at the air situation now, and I was wondering where the air is, but both players here have gone really quick T3. So Lainleas here is comfortably under the 11-minute mark for his T3, and Foden is the same as well. Foden is going into T3 engineer production, whereas Lainleas is using his to get some scouts out, and assumingly quickly followed by some ASF, one would think. Death Squad has not given up on this forward push on the left-hand side though. He's continuing to wear down and get rid of the T1 factories belonging to Glocking. Glocking has already accepted the loss of that position, I think, and he's starting to get some T2 PD a little further back, setting up his new front line to stop the progress of Death. And Death now, I should have mentioned, with the help of Google before he died, Google looked like he was cutting off Glocking from pushing up the left hand side, and that's allowed Death to fully fill out the top left hand corner of this map. So actually, if we look at the map control for Team 1 right now, System on the right hand side has pushed down and has taken the right hand corner, and it is 3 or 4 additional maxes, 5 if you count the whole corner chunk. And there's now a firebase battle brewing here from Artifax and System failure. But Artifax apparently quite happy to let System have all the additional eco in this bottom right hand corner. There's not too much there to stop Artifax from contesting that, but actually in his firebase, System with quite a lot of T1 spam as well. And if we just look at the areas here of the two players, System there with a sizable chunk of T1 factories getting up some spam, and a little bit less in Artifax's base. And actually, this is really going to turn into quite a dangerous situation for Artifax, because we see System now laying down some lamp factories in the bottom corner, and this will enable him to push waves of T1 units around the back of this forward position set up by Artifax. So Artifax should really consider trying to push that out a little bit. And if we just take a quick look at the air game now, it looks like Lainleas has got the upper hand in the air game. I think he was just strutting forward there just to show his superiority to the opposing team. And Foden is getting some ASF up. He has got his T3P gen up, and he's going into his second one now. But for the time being, nidO-F is behind in air, and also Artifact starting to contribute some Corsairs to the air game for Team 2. let's stop and take a quick eco check. So top of the charts right now for eco is Mathew on 129 income per tick. In second place is Lainleas on 105 per tick, and way back in third place it is Death Squad on 73 per tick. Mathew there halving momentarily. Mathew clearly having power issues right now, I think. There we go. Mathew trying to get some T3 power up, and that itself is costing him to power stall. Mathew is getting some serious shell onto his turtle here. He is eco-whoring by the looks of things, although at the moment Lainleas is keeping up with him while maintaining solid air production. But you could say that's the gap in skill showing, maybe. And a little wave coming around the back here like we described might happen earlier, and already Artifax losing a max point. He's having to redivert units from his forward position to try and defend this incursion from the forces of system failure. And up on the left hand side, and it looks like that Glocking has switched up to T2 Mongoose spam, and he's trying to kite the Mantis horde of Death Squad, and it actually looks like, I think that's going to work quite well actually. And there's a sizable mass field now in the former forward position of Glocking, which Glocking needs to try and move forward into and get some reclaim on. I think he's got enough Mongoose there to keep Death Squad busy at the front lines as long as Death Squad remains at T1. We've got ASF now coming forward from Lainleas, and he has shoved them straight into the ASF of Foden. Foden pulling back his ASF to his core base, and Lainleas not going to pursue. He is going to pursue. There's an attack ping going out on Death Squad's comm, and we've got Corsairs moving up on the left centre now. That's the ploy from Team 2. Lainleas move in to kill Foden's ASF, and now Team 1 with no ASF, and they're going to get clear passes here at Death Squad's ACU. Death Squad sees it coming. The first turn from Death Squad is really neat, avoiding a lot of the incoming damage, and Death Squad now pulling in his own T1 interceptors to try and deal with the Corsairs, but Death Squad's second pass is as bad as his first one was good, and Death Squad going down to the Corsairs. And it's now 3 versus 3. Burn, baby, burn. Sorry. I get like a little fuzzy feeling every time I watch Death Squad die. I can't describe it. And on the bottom of the map now, we've got another wave from System that's come in, and it's causing Artifax all sorts of problems. He's lost 2, 3, 4 max points here, maybe even 5, and Lainleas has actually dropped one of the maxes and has taken it for himself. And the Firebase battle on the right hand side continues to rage between System and Artifax, and System quite adaptly employing the use of T2 mobile missile launchers, and Artifax is just trying to get some TMD up, but System already looking like he's approaching critical mass on the mobile T2 front. Now then, we've got Mongoose pushing around the top from Glocking, and Mathew is falling back with his ACU. He doesn't want to get cut off in the middle, and he's trying to plug the gap vacated by Death Squad with Harbingers. Nice quick move there by Mathew, blocking a round the back maneuver from Glocking. And we got quite a lot of Corsairs here from Artifax. How many has he got? Let's just jump in and take a peek. So Artifax currently with 11 Corsairs, They've got a tag on System Failures ACU. System doesn't actually have too much AA around his comm. He's got a solitary flak. And Team 1 still with no air here. I think Artifax is possibly missing a trick here. He's just choosing to park his Corsairs. I'd be putting pressure on System's forward position, and actually System is leaving his firebase here. System is heading up to his core area. He's got to walk all of this alley on the right hand side, and if Team 2 gets some scouting on here, there's a serious snipe opportunity there for Artifacts on System. And the Mongoose continue to try and find a hole to penetrate the Harbinger line being thrown up by Mathew. Mathew just swinging around 3 Harbingers here, and he's got 4 going around the top here. Nice anticipation. Probably thought that somebody would be in that area reclaiming. And the Mongoose there being dealt with by the Harbingers. Glocking now going back to T1 spam, which is pretty questionable, to be honest. And Mathew now starting to turn the screw on the left flank and left centre. We've got Harbingers seeping forward from all directions here, and if we just take a look at Glocking's base, if you can call it that, there is not a lot to defend Glocking's position there. And back over on the right, and System Failure has broken the firebase of Artifacts. He is clean through here. Artifact still hasn't managed to regenerate his eco. So there are problems certainly on the right for Team 2. And Mathew looking, well, if Mathew's aggressive, Glocking is not long for this world. So let's just take in and another eco check here. So top of the charts right now, it's still Mathew on 178 mass income per tick. In second place, it's still Lainleas on 163, and in third place now, catching up slightly with the top 2, is System Failure on 132, and nidO-F also over the 100-point mark as well. Artifacts and Glocking for Team 2. Their eco thus far has been absolutely pathetic. Even I could eco better than this. And the Corsairs still being utilised to take out marauding forward units from Team 1. This time it's Harbingers, and there's a serious opportunity that's been missed by those Corsairs. System was certainly a viable target. Easy to say when you can see the whole map. Probably wasn't scouted out very well. Well, what do Team 2 know? They've still got a tag here on System's firebase saying that's where his ACU is. We know it's not true. And on the bottom now, System starting to push along the bottom, and he's nearly at the very core of Artifacts' base. And actually the Corsairs here are pretty much the only line of defense that Artifacts is offering himself right now, and Lainleas is starting to support with Restorers as well. So that particular push there from System won't be enough, but Team 1 knocking on the front door now. And we do have a nuke up here, and it's almost loaded. I missed the notification of that being built. So Lainleas with a nuke. And I'm pretty sure I read somewhere earlier on that, there we go, System is playing without sound. So bear in mind when this nuke goes off that the system won't hear the notification. So let's take a look at Team 1's bases, and we've got anti-nukes from all three players here. System, Mathew and Foden, all with anti-nukes, none of which are loaded. Mathew's is by far the closest. A little bit more teamwork there, and you might get one of these loaded, but not now, because Lainleas has launched the nuke and it's going for the base of Foden. nidO-F. And all the ACUs now, apart from System, vacates the base. Of course, System doesn't know that there's been a nuke. How fortunate Team 1 are that Lainleas decided to nuke the base of System failure. Sorry, of Foden, and not System failure. And that nuke, of course, getting through, and Foden there losing his entire setup bar the 2 T3 power generators, and actually that will serve Foden very well in getting his eco restored. He's already rebuilding shields down there at the front of his SMD, and we've got Corsairs now coming in from Artifax, and it looks like that Mathew is the target, and Lainleas poorly defending the Corsairs there, and very well sniffed out the Corsairs were by Foden. Foden taking out half of the Corsairs in the first pass, now leaving the rest of the Corsairs to ground AA or SAMs, and now the air engagement rages between Lainleas and Foden, and it looks like Foden's micro is gonna fare better in the ASF clash, but Lainleas moving up with restorers and Foden promptly recalling his ASF there. Lainleas building quite a formidable contingent of restorers up now. I hate restorers. I mean, I love them, but I hate them. I hate them because I never play as Aeon, so I never get to use them. I only get to kill them, and it's not very easy killing them. And the restorers being employed just to take out a couple of marauding harbingers being sent forward by Mathew. And back on the south, we've got more T3 engagements going on here between, this time, Glocking and System. So Glocking moving across Titans to support Artifax's peripheral base edge, and Artifax is still at T1 spam here. So Artifax looks like he's put most of his efforts into Corsair spam, and it's really cost him on the ground against his mirror System. He didn't even use the Corsairs to try and take out System when he could have. And now all the SMDs on Team 1 loaded, so 3 loaded SMDs. Foden getting his rebuild on in his core base area, while System, particularly on the bottom half of the map, continuing to apply pressure. We've got Harbingers, Sniper Bots, T2, Mobile Flak, all in the mix. I even saw an Absolver earlier. And Titans and Harbingers continue to clash on the front lines. And there's an air fight going on at the top of the map. The restorers have moved onto the edge of the back area of Team 1, and the sick anti-air has completely shredded the ASF count of Foden, and we've got T3 maxes going down here belonging to that of Mathew, and now they're going to turn their attention to T3 power generation. So Lainleas here certainly targeting the economy of Mathew. Probably realises that he's been turtling like a ninja all game. So Mathew's income there. Scythe down quite a chunk there, and Lainleas now topping the eco charts on 252. Mathew falling all the way down to third, but back on the south of the map, and System has broken through the defences of Artifax's base, and he's got just a couple of Harbingers applying pressure to the HCU of Artifax now. Artifax down to under 9,000 HP, but probably not enough Harbingers to see that kill through, and Lainleas now employing Restorers and Strap Bombers just to clear these Harbingers out, but the damage is being done, and from this point forward, Artifax looking severely crippled. Glocking continuing to try and reinforce his flank partner, opposite flank partner, but with little effect. And to be honest, Glocking hasn't been under too much pressure for a while, and his eco is still miles behind everybody else. And we've got a sizable T3 contingent now coming forward from Mathew along the top left hand flank. And again, if we just take a look at the defensive being offered up by Glocking, well, he's got a Ravager or two up now with a couple of Triads, but it's still not a whole lot for minute 29 of the game. And if Mathew decides to push this in, I think he's going to fare quite well. Mathew just probing forward there, taking out the T2 Max, and upon receiving some Ravager fire decides to pull back a little bit, and the second nukes come out from Lainleas, and I'm assuming that all of them are still loaded. Systems is loaded. Well, at least this time they've told System that there's a nuke coming. But all the SMDs are loaded, so I'm not sure where this one's heading, but it's not going to get through. Well, I'd tell a lie, they could have gone for that middle position there of Mathew, but electing to go for the base of System failure. This time it's not got through. System's anti was loaded. If he'd have made that decision the first time round, System would be dead. Such margins. And actually, despite that decision, the game really is still, it looks pretty tight. I say it looks tight, but if we look at the three ecos on Team 1 comparatively to the ecos on Team 2, and Artifax has got an excuse now because he's lost his base, but Glocking is nearly a third of everybody else apart from Artifax. That's about all you can say about that. So Mathew here looking really dangerous with these T3 contingent, and he's currently pooling him up in the middle of the map just to the left hand side of the pyramid. He needs to start pushing those forward. Opportunities are being missed, although saying that, quite a few strats being saved up by Lainleas now, so the likelihood is that that size of T3 push probably wouldn't do an overwhelming amount of damage, so maybe Mathew doing the right thing here. And we've got System now into T3 air production to supplement Foden's production, and a wise decision really from Team 1. They need to try and deal with the air superiority which Lainleas has enjoyed for much of this game. Some people say that Foden is one of the worst air players that the GB clan has ever seen, and I think they may be right. We've got scouts streaming over from Mathew over this middle section. He wants to know what's there to defend the gateway to the bottom left hand corner. and by extension the core areas of Team 2's bases. And Mathew now looking like he's seen what he wants. He's happy with what he's seen and he's starting to push through the middle now. System failure is still applying pressure on the right hand side, but really it's more of a distraction just to entertain the Percivals down there of glocking. And there is a GC up now from Lainleas, who is immediately queuing that up to move to center. And glocking, laying down some ravs at the bottom of his forward position. So Team 2 starting to get some crossfire up on the central area here that Mathew is looking to push through, and Mathew now deciding that there's a bit too much there and pulls back, or starts to pull back. And there's a notification that Mathew is now finished a GC. He's gone straight into the construction of a second one. The game is really on a knife edge, despite the eco differences between the two teams right now. Team 2 clinging on quite well, defending resolutely, mainly through the use of air and Ravagers. And Foden is just around the back of Lainleas' base there with a scout, just to see if there's any more shenanigans developing other than the nuke launcher. And now System also with a completion of a GC, and that immediately starts to thunder its way forward.
Strategic launch detected.
And Foden has a nuke as well, and as soon as I see the launcher, he launches the missile. And in the team chat, Lainleas saying he's forgotten to build anti. Has anyone else on Team 2? And I'm not seeing any anti here on Team 2. So this nuke from Foden, well, it's going straight for the base of Lainleas, and it doesn't look like there's anything to stop this. Lainleas throws out his last nuke in a sheer desperation bid, and the nuke comes in from Foden, and Lainleas literally losing his entire base. At least Lainleas had the decency to leave Foden with 2 T3 power generators. Foden not returning the compliment. Now I need to pause this for a second because something really fucking weird is about to happen, and I just wanted to point this out. System failure has 2 anti-nukes loaded in that nuke launcher. We're going to take a quick look at Mathew's base here. Oh, I can't do that on pause. So we'll go into like minus. So we'll jump into Foden. Foden is also loaded. Foden's SMD is also within range of the nuke. But guess what, guys? So there's some serious buggy shit going on there with the anti-nukes of Team 1, and System takes a nuke to the face as a result. Fortunately for Team 1, Lainleas decided to control K and take himself out of the game, having lost his entire base, thinking it was over. Little did he know that his nuke had got through. Maybe it was the fact that he control K'd that caused the bug on the nuke and the anti-nukes not to fire. Maybe we'll never know, but now Mathew is pouring through the center and glocking is caught forward, trying to fortify the central area. And surely this replay is soon to be over. It just looks too much forward, coming forward from Mathew. And glocking is in full retreat here, but he's losing a lot of hit points in the process, and the Harbingers, glocking Fetch at a critical juncture as he gets into the red, but it's still not going to be enough. The Harbingers start to make their way around the corner, and Glocking is trying to move up around this corner on the cliff, but he gets stuck. And now he's under the shield and he vets again. An epic last stand by Glocking's ACU, but it's all in vain. Glocking goes down finally. And I'm pretty sure somewhere in the midst of that, Artifax went down as well. And then just for good measure, we got a GC coming in from Mathew along the bottom. So Team 1 pulling this out of the bag. It could have very, very easily gone the way of Team 2. If that first nuke from Lainleas had been aimed at System instead of Foden, System would have been ejected from the game way, way earlier. And also Artifax, I think, missed a crucial opportunity with those Corsairs, the second group of Corsairs that he stashed up. He ended up waiting and tried to take out Mathew in vainly, but when he had the 11 to 15 Corsairs earlier on, there was no anti-air on Team 1, and there was very few ASF as well at the time when System was withdrawing his ACU to his central base. So a couple of missed opportunities, a couple of different decisions there, and Team 2 would have easily taken this match, despite the fact that I was really unimpressed with the eco of Glocking and Artifax. No offense, guys, but I'm sure you've had better games. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the stuff. And Google there getting the weird 2 kills of Luca and MoMo-Uchiha at the really early on in the game. The weird bit was Luca just following in and virtually suiciding himself. Artifax got a kill as well of Death Squad. That was definitely my favourite kill of the match by a country distance. Let's take a look at the categories, and Mathew winning mass income. That's no surprise. Mathew was doing some serious turtle in that match. And 2 categories also going to System failure in the form of stuff built and stuff killed. System with really high intensity pressure throughout that replay on the left hand side, and Artifacts just couldn't deal with it in the end. And then the last category going to Lainleas of power income. Perhaps not surprising, Lainleas was up there throughout the game with his eco, and as an air player they generally tend to overbuild power. So man of the match, really, really tricky one this is actually, and I think it's got to go to Mathew. Mathew eventually pulling the win out of the bag for Team 1, and a lot of T3 land spam at the end, also with some crucial interceptions along the top just after Death died when Glocking tried to push through with Mongoose. So Mathew, well done. Team 1, well done. Thanks guys, I really hope you enjoyed the content. If you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave comments. Also, please feel free to share this content with your friends. Spread the word. Spread the word. Right, guys, that was terrible. Take care.